Hi everyone, this is Paulina Klimek from InTheCage.pl, and today I have the pleasure to talk with one of the UFC fighters, light heavyweight division. It's Devin Clark. Hello, Devin.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Actually, it's early evening over here in Poland. We're almost 6:30, and I know it's pretty early in terms of the day in your place.
Yeah, it was like late morning-ish, so yeah, not too early.
Okay, so basically we have some aspects to talk, some things to talk about. So first is definitely that we have to swing back to the past in terms of you as a fighter, because recently you had pretty bad luck in terms of, you know, your opponents and fights. So you were supposed to fight in St. Petersburg, and at first you had one fighter, and the cancel was bout due to the illness, right? And later you had another one, and you hit the place and the canceled bout again. So maybe elaborate on that.
Yeah, I had a opponent lined up, and he ended up breaking his foot or something. I think it was like 3 weeks from the fight, something like that. And then the other opponent, the night before the fight, he ended up going to the hospital or something. Something happened with him, and he wasn't able to fight. So I ended up in Russia and with no fight. So kind of just had to hang out and then and regroup, and we had to. But they got me rescheduled and booked for June 1st in Sweden here. So, yeah.
Right, it's true. There is a thing that sometimes is happening in MMA world, that when the bouts are actually canceled, the fighters try to maybe not take the revenge, but make this fight to happen whatsoever in the future. So would you like to fight any of the fighters that actually meant to fight you but it didn't happen?
If it happens, and I have to believe whatever the situation they were going through, they had to cancel the fight. So, I'm giving them, I give that to them, but I'm not really going to hold it against them at all. If we happen to fight in the future, we fight, and that will be that. But, I'm just looking forward to my next opponent and beating him. So.
All right. So just what will happen, right? Que será, será. All right. So being right there in St. Petersburg, it was hell far away from the place that you actually live in. The same was where you were fighting in Gdańsk and now Sweden. So what's the pattern actually that your fights are in the UFC are so far away from the hometown and home country and all?
I really don't know. Maybe the UFC just knows I'm down to fight anywhere, and I'll be up for that fight. I guess I'm not really sure. The Russia fight, I actually really wanted to fight in Russia. It's always been a dream of mine to fight in Russia, and so I was really excited about that, even though it is a long trip and I'm halfway across the world. But yeah, I was excited about it, and Poland was awesome too. I enjoyed fighting in Poland, and it's part of the sport, part of the process, and it's something I'll be able to look back on when I retire. Traveling all over the world and getting paid to do it, and fighting some of the best fighters in the world. It's really the ultimate part of the sport, getting to experience all that.
All right, I do understand. So basically you have to charge it to the game, so all the traveling aspects and stuff, just the same as cutting weight process and other things which are not directly fighting all in all, but just different puzzles, in this whole picture. I do understand. I get your point, but tell me, this dream of fighting in Russia and being there, What's your opinion about the place? And I don't know, have you been sightseeing maybe something, or what you've been doing if not fighting actually?
We walked around a little bit. We didn't really get to go into any of the museums and stuff, but we got to see a lot of the buildings and the history of the place, and it was really cool. And there's a long history of war and battle, and that's part of the aspect that's interesting about Russia, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to fight there. It's people there, their experience in fighting, and that's a little bit part of the culture in certain parts of Russia. So it was that was the exciting part to me, and being able to push myself and be in that situation against a tough Russian fighter, their number one prospect in Russia, and the scary looking guy. It was everything about that fight was exciting.
All right, nice to hear that. Actually, Poland also have a rich history of being, like kind of through tough times, and basically you could also see this maybe over there in Gdańsk.
Absolutely, and Jan Błachowicz made me feel that as well.
Right, yeah, because we know the result.
Really tough guy. So that's something I always remember about Poland, the pain I went through in Poland.
Oh my God. Yeah, but that's also the part of the career, let's say. Sometimes there are wins, sometimes there are losses. Okay, maybe if you're Khabib, there are only wins so far. But there's only one Khabib in the world, right? So tell me now, maybe let's stick to Jan, because Jan now, he's been through a fight with Thiago Santos, and it ended up as it ended, right? And now he has a big chance to, I don't know, to mark his name in America, because he's about to fight with Luke Rockhold. So do you follow the things that are going on Twitter between those two fighters?
I haven't heard anything. I haven't followed that at all.
All right.
I know Luke Rockhold's quite the character, and he likes to talk and whatever. I hope I hope Jan whoops him.
Oh. Oh, actually, that was one of the questions of our viewers, the fans of In the Cage. That okay, Paulina. So just ask Devin, what does he think about this matchup, and who will win in his opinion. So you're voting for Jan, right?
Yeah, Jan's a tough guy. He's got a lot of talent, and he can beat a lot of people in the division. I think he can beat Luke Rockhold. He's got some tools, and he showed that against some tough fighters. After he beat me, he kind of just went on a run there and was running through people, and just hurt people. I mean, I think the fight against Jimmy Manuwa, he just absolutely destroyed him. But yeah, I think he's got a good chance there, beating Luke. And I don't really like Luke all that much. He just gives me bad vibes. I just get bad vibes from him.
All right.
Kind of a weird guy, but so I'm going for Jan in that one.
Okay, I can see that. So anyway, I recommend you to check what's going on Twitter, because there's a heated debate, if I can say like that, between those two. Actually, a little bit of beef, maybe even. So I recommend you to I don't want to spoil, so you have to look yourself, right?
Yeah.
And all right, so next fight will be in a very, very short time from now. So you're probably in the middle of your whole training camp to face Darko Stosic, right? Yep. So tell me maybe something about your camp, like in particular, what's your schedule day by day and stuff, maybe like that, just a little bit of that.
Well, we had to adjust a little bit, kind of go. I took a little bit of time off, about a week in between the Russia fight, just to kind of separate the two camps, because I didn't want it to just go into one and get a longed out camp and get exhausted and stuff like that. So I took a little bit of break, came back home, then I went back to Albuquerque, but yeah, training 3-4 times a day, getting ready for this guy. He's a tough striker. We're just going to stick to my game plan and do what I do best, and that's out wrestle people and be unpredictable.
All right. So you actually have some kind of experience in terms of facing Balkan fighters.
Uh,
Actually, the one with Alexander Rakic also went not the way probably you wanted, but still it happened. And there is a big thing actually about Balkan fighters. We can see that in Poland because there is an organization, I don't know if you know, KSW. Have you heard about it?
mm-mm.
Okay, it's a really huge thing over here in Poland, and now we have a massive, let's say, rush of Balkan fighters coming
Okay.
into the organization and just smashing other fighters, and Polish people are crazy about them. So it's also visible about those Balkan fighters that they are very tough and they have something. There's something special about them. So do you have any kind of, are you biased somehow, or you're just open-minded and the nationality doesn't count?
I'm pretty open-minded. Anybody can be hurt, and that's proven time and time again. Um, I mean, they're definitely tough fighters, but so are American fighters. Look at the American champion.
Yeah.
Polish and everybody's tough. It's the UFC. So for someone, I hope he does think that just because he's because he's Serbian or whatever he has an advantage. That's all right with me if he thinks that. And the fight with Rakic, it was I can't be mad at it. He caught me with a lucky shot, and I dropped him twice and almost had him finish. But he was a very tough guy. But that was one of my best performances. So I'm not gonna look down on that fight. I got caught going trying to knock him out. So that's is what it is, and I'm getting better. I'm still young in the sport. I'm 29 years old. I got signed to UFC when I was 5-0, so I've been learning at the highest level. And I'm not afraid of anybody. I'll go anywhere, fight anybody, and that's proven. And some of the toughest guys, literally some of the toughest. So yeah, there's no bias there.
All right. All right. I just wanted to know because sometimes there are many fighters, different types of personalities, characters. There are also beefs. Some people go emotional through the fights, and some completely not. Maybe it's not this is not a feature, in my opinion, about the personality or professionalism, but just sometimes it happens. World
Yeah.
is not regular at all, and we have to just take it into account, and that is it. All right. So we, as InTheCage, we will be in Stockholm. Not me particularly, but our reporters will be there. So probably you'll have the opportunity to talk with us one more time and as many times as possible in the future.
Sure.
So will you be watching today's, even in Brazil, today's UFC 237?
I I'll probably catch the highlights or the end of it. I have my daughter's yearly dance recital tonight, so I'll be at her dance recital watching her.
All
So
right. What genre of dance actually she trains?
it's tap and ballet.
Okay, so classic one. Very good. This
Yeah,
is a good base for any kind of different disciplines later in the future, actually.
absolutely. She does that, and then she does gymnastics and jujitsu. So she's
Oh my God.
yeah.
Yes. Okay, so it's really good. Some specialists say that ballet, so
Mhm.
classic dance and gymnastics are the things that are the best base actually to any different discipline in terms of any kind of sports. Doesn't matter if it's solo or whatever. So we are keeping our fingers crossed for your daughter for being successful in the future. Huh?
Well, thank you. Thank
Okay, so being a father and being a fighter who has to face this often traveling, around the world, is it hard to combine those two roles in life?
It is, but I've been doing it for years now, and me and the family, we're getting used to it a little bit. It's still hard, but yeah, we gotta do what we gotta do. Work hard now, then we'll get to just chill later and relax. So, we get through it, and you know, I have a really good support system. My wife is awesome. She takes care of the family and the kid when I'm gone, so she holds it down, and so yeah, we make it work.
Okay, that's great. That's fantastic to hear that, because it's really hard to you know, combine such things. So fighter, an international fighter, and the father who's so engaged in the life of a little daughter. Amazing to hear that. So I would like also to talk once again about your fighting camp, to this upcoming fight, and about your maybe sparring partners, because you know, Jackson Wing, one of the best clubs in the world in terms of MMA. Any sparring partners that are, I don't know, maybe you spar with John Jones, or anyone else who's pretty, who can be, who can show that if sparring partner is on top-notch level, so
Yeah.
you could do anything inside the cage.
Yeah, there's always tough rounds in there. We got John Jones in there, Roman Dolidis, Christian Edwards, Bellator fighter, and yeah, there's so many people, and even some of the amateurs are tougher than most pros. So we're at a gym like that where we got some up and coming guys that are just tough as nails and can compete. So always confident in my training. I know I have the best partners, the best coaches too. So we have just a stable full of coaches that have seen a lot and been around a lot of world champions and stuff like that. So it really is one of the best places to train in the world. And then on top of that, you have the altitude. We're in the mountains, so we're training at altitude, and we come in really good shape.
Fantastic. Okay, so you know, the actually the atmosphere works out, and everything works out that way. So basically, I don't know, there's a theory about, for example, having a job that you don't like, but if the staff inside is cool, then even you like the job or something. So if the atmosphere is great, then anything else is also perfect. So the tools are cool.
Absolutely. I mean, at a gym like that, at Jackson Wink, everybody there wants to get better. And of course, everybody wants to win, but it's not always about winning. People are always trying to make themselves better and everybody around them better. So it's really, and that's where you start winning, is when that you have that aspect of it.
Okay, so thank you for this talk. It was longer than I expected, to be honest. It was such a pleasure to have it. Thank you for your time sacrificed for us, and see you, maybe not personally, but with our outlet over there in Stockholm, and maybe some words for Polish fans, some kind of hello or something.
Well, I forgot how to say it in Polish, but yeah, hello to all the Polish fans, and you guys are awesome. When I fought in Poland, everybody was nice to me, even though I was an outsider and I was fighting the hometown guy. But you guys are awesome, and hopefully I'll get to visit Poland again soon.
Yeah, and we are looking forward to it as well. Thank you, Devin. So see you as soon as possible. So probably in Stockholm, and have a nice day.
All right, you as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.